Hi everyone, welcome to my new video series on Linux TACACS plus server configuration for authentication, authorization and accounting for Cisco iOS devices. The complete configuration I'll be doing it from the beginning. As of now, there is no configuration in the iOS device or Linux server related to AAA. The iOS device which I'm going to use is R1, which you can see here, and I'll be using my local desktop as a TACACS server, and there is no AAA related configuration in my machine now. The complete series I'll be covering all these 5 points. First 2 points I'll be covering it in the first video. Point number 3 and 4 I'll be covering it in the second video, and 5 will be in the third video. In first point, I'll be doing the authentication from local TACACS server. There won't be any enable password or authorization or accounting for the user, but still user will be able to log in with username and password and execute the command. In the second point, user will be able to authenticate and give enable password from both local and TACACS server. So these two cases we'll be checking in the first video. In the second video, we'll move into authorization and we'll check different levels of authorization with privilege level 0, 1 and 15, because in 0 they'll be allowing only some 4 or 5 commands, and in 1 there will be a limitation, in 15 there will be allowing all the commands. We'll test that. In the fourth point, we'll be configuring TACACS for allowing individual commands for the user, so that user can execute only the defined command in the TACACS. In the fifth point, that means in the third video, we'll be enabling accounting, so that we can see whether the logging and accounting is happening properly for TACACS, so that we can track whether all the commands are getting logged for the auditing purpose. We'll start configuring now. I'll open the console of R1. So you can see here there is no AAA related configuration in my device. I have only IP reachability and I have one local user configured here. I'll show that user, the admin. And password also I have configured as admin. If you want, we can verify it in this way. {10.10.10.10} as my router IP. I have access with the local user. And in Linux, for installing the TACACS plus server, the command is sudo apt-get install TACACS plus. So you can see here I have already installed the TACACS server, so it is not allowing me to install it again. So once you install the file, you can see, once you install the TACACS plus server, you can see the configuration file inside etc TACACS plus config file. This is the default configuration file. This is a file which you need to edit for TACACS to work as per our requirement. I'll go to that folder directly. Even you can execute from whichever location you are in the directory, but still I'll go to that location. For enabling or starting the TACACS service, the command is TACACS plus start. It has started successfully. If you want to verify whether it is working properly, the port number 49, which is the TACACS port number, is opened or not, the command to check that is netstat -na grep -i listen. We can see here my port number 49 is open. That means my TACACS service is running. If you want, you can just stop the service and see one more time. Yeah, this is output. Here I don't have 49 running now, so we'll enable it again. Start. Okay, it started. So we'll start configuring the TACACS server first. File name is tag+.conf. This is the default key which is configured in the TACACS. You can edit based on your requirement. It is recommended to give a secure key. Since it is a simulation, I will give a common password Cisco. This is a file where it is going to get logged all the accounting data. So I'll be covering that in the point number 5, that means in the third video. In the first video, another thing what we need to check is we'll be configuring the host here so that the router will be able to communicate to TACACS. So router IP is going to be 10.10.10.10. In addition to that, key we have defined it globally, so we don't need to define it here. Even type we don't need. Enable will be giving individually for all the user, so you can remove all these lines. Prompt we can give one message. Even that is not mandatory, still we can give a message. We can customize it in this way. Yeah, now my host entry is completed. Now we need to configure the username. First I'll remove all the comment. Yeah, I'll be creating username with T1 so that I'll be able to enter it easily. Your name is not mandatory. I'll be doing very minimal configuration, so I'll configure only what is required. I have to create a group below, so I'll give the group name as net admin. Now I don't have any group. I'll be creating it. And password, you can either store it in a different file or you can use a local database. I'll be defining it manually here. If you want to use the local machine's password, you can enable this command, use etc password file for authentication. So under user we need to define the group where it is going to belong to. Then enable, I'll be configuring here locally, so it is going to be clear text, and I'll give T1 itself as my enable password also. Then login password, that also I'll give us T1. Okay, now we'll configure the group. We don't need CMD here. Group name will change to netadmin, which we have mentioned here. Then default space service equal permit, under that service space exec. Under that we can define the privilege. I'll be giving privilege level 15 for this user. The command is lvl equal 15, enter. Close the command. We will verify it again. We don't need this command. Yeah, we'll group these lines separately so that when we create another user, we'll be able to copy it easily. Yeah, we'll verify the command again. Member netadmin enable password T1, login T1, privilege level 15. Yeah. Now we'll save the TACACS config. We'll restart the service. It started successfully. Now we'll go to R1 and start configuring it. So you need to notice this R1 is going to be my direct console. Even if I lose connection from my SSH, I'll be able to access using direct console. Okay, so we'll start configuring R1. The commands are 𝗖𝗏𝗏 new model, then TACACS server. We can give host, then IP address is 10.10.99 my PC IP. Another thing is TACACS server key, it is unencrypted Cisco. Now we'll log the TACACS data communication. Okay, we'll logging console, then we'll enable debug as well. Debug, 𝗖𝗏𝗏 authorization. Now another command is for authenticating the user, 𝗖𝗏𝗏 authentication. So login we need to give first, login default group TACACS plus fallback will give us local. Now we will try logging in. SSH T1 at 10.10.10.10. I am able to log in. So that means our first part is completed. So here user will be able to log in with TACACS user and they can execute any command, but there is not going to be any kind of authorization or accounting for this user. Now we'll see the enable command here. I'll give an enable password here commonly. Enable secret Cisco. We'll try to log in again. Yeah, since I have defined the privilege level 15, it directly logs in here. If you want to edit that, you can just change the privilege level here. I'll restart the service. We need to remember the left side terminal I am going to use for editing the TACACS configuration. Right side most one I am going to use for SSHing, and middle one will be my direct console. Here I'll be getting the complete logs. Now you can see the privileged mode. If I give enable, it will ask for enable password. I need to give local enable password Cisco. Still it is not using the user's password because I haven't enabled that in the router. Here if I don't give enable password now, I'll remove the enable password from here. User will not be able to log in anymore. Because user is having the privilege of 1, and after privilege of 1 they should give enable to enter, and if you don't have enable here, they will not be able to log in. Yeah, it is not even asking the password, so I don't have any enable here. Okay, now we'll configure the enable for the user from TACACS, because in TACACS I already have enable password for the user. The password is T1, so I'll enable that here. So I'll be configuring it directly from my console. Configure, the command is play authentication enable default group TACACS plus, then you need to give enable as a fallback mechanism. Now I'll try to log in again. I'll give the password T1, give command enable here. See, now it is asking for enable password. Now I need to give this enable password for logging in. So I'll give T1. Yeah. Now I got the privilege of 15. Yeah, so now we have covered the first part and second part. So that means I'll summarize the configuration we have done. Initially we have installed TACACS server, then done a basic configuration there, then enabled the TACACS authentication in router. We have tested without enable password, with enable password. We tried it with local enable and the enable password from external user. So for authorization configuration, we will see it in the next video. There I'll be configuring the user with multiple privilege levels. So see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.